What's interesting when you bring that up, the people who read newspapers, who watch TV news, broadcast news, who consume digital news online from a news website, they like Biden more than they like Donald Trump. The margins that he has, those information voters they like President Biden. They're not convinced by Donald Trump. It's the social media people, the people who get their news from alternative venues. How do you cut into that, Michael Steele? I mean, I guess we're all kind of aged out of the social media world, so it's a hard question to ask us. But how do you get online and break through when what the currency online, the currency in social media are small clips and memes?
Well, it's one of the reasons.
Oh, I'll spare you his answer because it was a total non-answer. You could check it out on X to see. He doesn't know. The legacy media is literally flipping out that most Americans are now getting their news from Elon Musk's X. And to add insult to injury, we're now getting word that the Washington Post is literally financially imploding. We got the latest, gang. You are not going to want to miss this. Hey, gang, it's me, Dr. Steve, your Patriot Professor, here to help you stay sane in these insane times. So make sure to smack that bell and subscribe button. Also, I show up here each and every day because I want to help you think better so you can live better. So when I came across an alternative to a bad habit, I had to share it with my friends, which means you. And even better, this alternative is fun and enjoyable. What am I talking about? It's called Fume. It's actually flavored air. And it's quickly becoming the fantastic alternative to those old bad habits we all know too well. Fume is an award-winning flavored air device, and its flavoring, it's absolutely exceptional. This guilt-free option has tons of non-toxic flavors to choose from, like crisp mint or orange vanilla. Think of it more like herbal tea that's absolutely delightful and wonderful for you at the same time. The best part about Fume is that it fills that void when you're trying to kick the bad habits. And that's so important as we fight the left in their agenda to destroy America. If we're healthier, if we're stronger, they simply can't control us. So why not give Fume a try? They're continuously investing in third-party studies to ensure the safety and quality of their products, and they're backed by real doctors here in the USA. Fume can be used anywhere. It's enjoyable to hold and enjoyable to taste. Each draw of flavor in your mouth is another chance to live a healthier life that all courageous patriots should be aiming for. Fume has served over 300,000 customers, and you're next. For a limited time, use my code Steve Turley to get your free Fume base when you order the Journey Pack. It's the all-new magnetic stand for your Fume device. Head on over to tryfume.com. That's tryfume.com and use code Steve Turley or scan the QR code on the screen to get your free Fume base when you order your Journey Pack today. Trust me, folks, you won't regret the swap. Every small choice we make is another step to making America great again. There's a huge blow-up going on inside the heart of the legacy media. Vanity Fair is reporting on Washington Post publisher and CEO William Lewis openly dropping a truth bomb on the whole of the Washington Post staff. He told them in no uncertain terms that the Post has lost their audience and no one is reading them anymore. Again, this coming from their own CEO. He was addressing the fact that the Post lost an astounding $77 million last year while losing half their audience since 2020. And so the CEO had to have a meeting with writers and staff to explain why he fired their executive editor. In the end, he had to explain to them that she got fired because she's overseeing the paper's implosion. They've lost nearly $100 million and half their readers during her far-left tenure. So it's not just democracy dies in darkness. It is journalism dies in wokeness. That should be the Post new slogan. And of course, it's not hard to see why. You don't have to look very far. Here's a sample of what the Washington Post, among other legacy media outlets, tried to sell us on. They told us that Trump colluded with Russia to steal the 2016 election. They told us that Jussie Smollett was the victim of a race crime, that Brett Kavanaugh was legitimately accused of being a freaking rapist, that the COVID lab leak theory was nothing but a conspiracy theory, that border agents on horseback ran around whipping migrants, that the Covenant Catholic school kids mocked and ridiculed and maligned a poor, peaceful, innocent Native American simply banging on his drum, that Trump built cages for migrant kids and recommended that people drink bleach to cure COVID, that Kyle Rittenhouse was a white supremacist, and of course, the granddaddy of them all, the Hunter Biden laptop, was nothing more than Russian disinformation. I mean, what an absolute joke. That's what you and I would have thought about the world if we only read the Washington Post. That is why virtually everyone who reads the Washington Post is voting for Biden. It's not because they're more informed. It's because they're all part of the same ideological echo chamber. And that echo chamber, as we're about to find out, that echo chamber is being blown to smithereens. That is why the Washington Post is officially and deservedly collapsing. And by the way, it's not just the Post. I'm sure you know this. We reported some months back that the ultra-leftist Vice News was officially filing for bankruptcy. Remember, Vice was once valued at over $5 billion just a few short years ago. How, I have no clue, but this is no chump media outlet. And now it's officially filed for bankruptcy. It's on its way out, and we could keep going. NPR has been laying off staff left and right, as has CNN. CNN, check this out. They actually had to vacate their iconic building in downtown Atlanta, and that's because CNN has fallen to their lowest primetime viewership, get this, since 1991, in 30 freaking years. Christopher Rufo said it beautifully. Vice bankrupt, Washington Post losing millions, NPR pink-slipping journos, New York Times attacking Kendi, that's Ibram X. Kendi, the BLM activist. The New York Times actually just published a hit piece on him and his corruption. The realignment is happening fast. The George Floyd moment is over. I love it. And of course, that moment should never, ever have happened in the first place. But Rufo does a wonderful job of giving us an aerial view on what's really happening here right before our very eyes. And we've been talking about it and predicting it now for years on this channel. The death of the legacy media is all the result of a new social order emerging all around us, which is called the network society, right? If you're a regular to this channel, you know that term well, the network society. And the network society, it's a new social order that's rising up, that's connecting us by virtue of networks, by virtue of the internet. Remember, one of the key differences between our world and the worlds of the past, as it were, is past populations were primarily limited by virtue of their proximity to one another. So we knew each other largely by virtue of our proximate location to one another. And of course, that's still true today. But what's different is that now through digital networks, through the internet, we can have relationships that totally transcend our proximity to one another. We can live in Florida and work in Oregon by virtue of the internet. And so in a network society, digital information is now accessible to everyone. Digital information can now bypass the legacy media that once had a monopoly on information. Digital information bypasses the gatekeepers of the legacy media in a manner comparable to the way email and texting bypasses the post office. The post office is proximate, right? That's how it operates, whereas digital networks completely transcend those proximate the limitations. This is why the legacy media is collapsing, and they don't even see it. You and I now have direct access to the information that we once had to rely on the news media to mediate to us. The information, again, by virtue of its, back in the day, by virtue of its proximity limitations, first came to them, the media, and then they disseminated, they mediated that information to us. Those days are over, and their days are over. And the Washington Post is learning that the hard way. Here's your opportunity to tell big tech tyrants where they can stick it. Click on that link below and download our brand new cancel-proof Turley Talks app, and you can sign our special declaration of restoration. That's our petition to big tech that declares a new day is dawned. They are no longer in control, and we are taking our nation back. We've already got over 1,000 signatures of courageous patriots, and yours is next. Click on that link below or go to fight.turleytalks.com right now.